The way you perform redistribution will be dependent on what you are trying to achieve. In our example, we performed 1-point two-way redistribution. We only had one router performing the redistribution in the environment. We were redistributing from EIGRP into OSPF and OSPF into EIGRP. So if we add EIGRP and OSPF, we were performing that two-way redistribution at one point in the topology. However, you might only need to perform 1-point one-way redistribution, meaning that you are only redistributing from OSPF into EIGRP or vice versa. But it's only one-way redistribution that's occurring in this case. That might introduce a few problems. For example, everybody in the EIGRP domain can reach those networks in the OSPF domain. But can the OSPF domain reach the networks in the EIGRP domain? No, because they're not learning about them. So if you need connectivity from the OSPF domain back into the EIGRP domain, you will need to either create static routes or maybe inject a default route into the OSPF environment, pointing all routers out to the EIGRP domain. So you'd still need to do something in that OSPF domain in order to have full end-to-end connectivity. In addition, you might have 1-point or multi-point one-way redistribution. And multi-point one-way redistribution is similar to that 1-point one-way redistribution, but now there is simply two places in the network where we are performing that one-way redistribution. And then finally, we have multi-point two-way redistribution, which is similar to that 1-point two-way redistribution, but now instead of just having that 1 point of redistribution in our environment, there's the 2 points of redistribution, where we are sending EIGRP routes into OSPF and OSPF routes back into EIGRP. And this is very common, this multi-point two-way redistribution. Why? I want you to think of that. Why would that be a common implementation? Yeah, if you're saying, well, redundancy, yeah. Potentially load balancing, it's possible. Why? Well, in this case, if something happens to R5, that exit point out of the domain, R6 can still be used. Something happens to R6, R5 can still be used. So we're eliminating that single point of failure inside of our environment.